So on WILDLING again now, and we've got the new sails, or two of the new sails anyway, on the boat. So I took some video to show what everything kind of looks like at this point. So here we're looking at the storm jib, that is the innermost jib, which is rolled out. And basically what the guys are doing now is just checking the fit of the sails to make sure everything fits right, and they're the right size, and the routing properly back. The sheets are routing properly back to the helm stations, and we also need to adjust the furling lines that go to the winch on the foredeck. So I'll take a little bit of a look at that in a second. Hardly any wind today, so pretty nice way to see the sails. Without any wind, we can put them up at the boat's at the dock and do a test fit. But it's also a little bit hard to see how they're going to operate, or how they will sit and be positioned when the wind fills them. So we can kind of estimate that, but we need to do a test sail to find out. Okay, so here we are at the helm station, just looking back at the way it's routed. It's a complete rat's nest of lines right now, because we literally have lines everywhere as we're rigging things up and so on. So it's going to be a lot cleaner and so on when we get it all finished, and I'll show what that looks like. So this is the storm jib again, unfurled. Usually we'd use this sail when we've got 3 reefs in the main, so winds in the sort of the 35 plus knots, 35 to 50 knots, with very strong winds. So it's a very strong sail, and it's on a temporary stay. So the stay that the little furler is attached to, we can disconnect and stow the sail away when we don't need it. So you see the lines coming back to the winch, and this is the winch that will operate the furling drums on each of the 4 head sails that we have, and then the sheet routed back through the little haulers that position it. So here is Philippe's getting the measuring up for the line that's going to furl, and just giving it a test go to furl the sail in. So he basically wraps the continuous line of the furling drum around the winch, and then he's going to go back to the cockpit, hit the remote control electric winch button, furls the sail up, and he just plays the sheet, keeps some tension on the sheet. So simple as that. So works really well. It's very easy to furl. Now you're looking at, again, getting it measured up. What we're going to do is we'll have another little kind of like a little pulley block that connects to the slack end of the line. Arno's holding it out now, but that will normally be a pulley block, so that you can leave it unattended and it will spin in a continuous line without getting tangled up or anything or so on. So just to show how it works. Again, it's a bit hard to see right now because there's just so much clutter on the deck as we're making up all these lines. So I'll show another video when it's cleaned up. So here's the Genoa unfurling. So this is the first time actually I've ever seen the new Genoa. It's a North 3DI, so it's a molded sail, very high tech and very kind of cool looking. And basically the cut of the Genoa, the size of the Genoa, is pretty much the maximum size that we could fit. And this would be a sail that we're using in sort of light to moderate winds, and when the winds pick up a bit further than this, we'll furl the Genoa and put out the staysail. The staysail we don't have yet. That's that middle line you can see right between the Genoa luff, and it's the sort of the third, the middle roller, the middle furler. So we don't have that staysail yet, so that'll arrive soon. So here's the Genoa unfurled. Again, it's hard to see exactly how it's going to sit when there's wind filling it, because there's no wind today. But beautiful sail, very well made, and again, it's a lot more power available in the sail than the jib we had. So you can kind of see the 3 sails there. We've got the Genoa at the front. Next is the staysail, which hasn't arrived yet. We should get that in a few days, and then behind that is the storm jib, which is temporarily in place. Normally, it's going to stow in the locker, and we just put that stay up when we need it. But everything, the fit and cut of the sails look really good. The sails are beautifully made. Like I said, I think it's going to be excited to get out and give them a try. There's a fair bit of work to do just yet in getting all of these furling lines routed back So here we are in the cockpit now, looking forward at the Genoa sheet, how it's led back onto the winch. It's hard to see because of the tangle of lines everywhere, but I'll get that cleaned up and do another video and show how everything routes and is going. You can kind of see the Genoa sort of hitting the spreader. Normally when there's wind filling it, it sits outside of the spreader, and usually the master's rotated too, so the spreader's back, so that doesn't ever get there. So we've got the kind of the Genoa fully extended now to the maximum point, and it all fits well in the sheeting system. It looks like it's really really in good shape. And the next thing we're working on here is getting the Genoa furler set up as well, and again that's a temporary furler, so I'll show that in just a minute. Now it's really pretty interesting looking sail. It's all molded, and it's kind of a smooth, it feels when you touch it, it's still sort of smooth, kind of plasticky feel to it, which it's a lot lighter in terms of just overall weight. It keeps its shape because it's been molded. It's been built on a molded surface and heated up and laminated together on its mold. So it has an airfoil shape naturally. It takes very little wind to kind of position it as well. Yeah, you can see there it's just touching that spreader, but when the wind fills it, it won't. Okay, so now we've got the Genoa furled up, and or actually right now we're setting up the Genoa furler, which again is a temporary furler which goes on the end of the bowsprit. So we've essentially got 4 head sails. We've got the storm jib, which is rolled out now, the staysail, then the Genoa, and then the Genoa. Genoa is either like a code D for downwind or a code 0. There's the Genoa furler right now. We put the stay up, the furler's in place, and goes up there to the top. It's just temporarily in place. We're actually not putting a sail on it right now, but what we need to do is run this furling line back over to the winch as well. And so we essentially, when we want to operate the Genoa, all of the head sails, all 4 head sails operate off the same winch using the same system. Each one has its own continuous furling line which wraps around the winch, gets tension back with another little pulley block which isn't there yet, which we have to install, and is operated from the cockpit with the remote controls for the winch.